In this video, I'm going to show you how you can convert a table that's formatted like this in a single column and convert it into a regular table that you'd expect to see in Microsoft Excel. And this can happen when you're copying data from a website or some other source and it pastes into Excel, but not the way that you want to. In this example, it's obviously displaying as a column instead of a table. So this process works the same in Google Sheets as it does in Excel. And I'm going to show you how we can set this up so that you're dynamically creating a template that you can reuse over and over again if you have situations like this. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the number of fields that I have here. So I've got description, amount, X date, record date, and payment date. So I've got 5 fields. So I'm going to type in number of fields here, and I'm going to type in 5. And the idea being this can be dynamic, that you can update at a later point. If you've got a table that's got more columns or more fields, you can adjust accordingly. And to make this work, to convert this into a table, I'm going to use the index function in Excel, and I'm going to select this entire array. Now, the key thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm freezing this entire range just to make sure that it's not moving as I'm copying it over, because I'm going to copy this formula over, so it's going to automatically adjust based on my column position. And so for my second argument, the row number, I'm going to open up parentheses here and use the row function. And what this is going to do is return the row, the actual number that a cell is on for the row number. So for example, if I type in A1, that row is going to be row 1. So the idea is when I copy this formula down, it's going to increment. So it goes down to row A2, A3, A4. So it's going to jump from 1 to 2 to 3 and 4 and so on as I copy this down. What I'm also going to do is multiply this by that field number that I set up here. So let me just move this out of the way here. So I'm referencing D1, and I'm going to freeze this one as well with dollar signs to make sure it's not moving. The idea being, because I've got 5 fields here, I want to jump 5 rows at a time, but I don't want to do it in the first instance. And that's why I'm going to close parentheses here. And I'm also going to subtract by this field $D, $1, to make sure that for the first time, I'm not jumping 5. I'm only doing that on the next row. And now once I've got that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the column. So column A1. So this is the first column that I'm at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag these formulas across. So here's going to be column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. And so I'm using numbers to adjust based on my range. And for the column number, I'm going to enter in value of 1. Because I've only got one column selected in my index, I can only select 1. If I enter in 2 or 3, anything greater than 1, it's going to result in an error. So now if this works correctly, I should have my first value, which is the description field. So let's break down how this works. If I go to formulas, evaluate formulas, it's going to walk through the steps that it's taking when doing this calculation. And so here's what it looks like. So row A1, that value is returning a value of 1. It's multiplying by the number of fields, which is 5. So 1 times 5 gives me a value of 5. And I'm subtracting that 5 that I've already got in there because I don't want to jump 5 fields yet. So 5 minus 5, it's going to net out to 0. And then I'm going to add the column. So the column in cell A1 is going to be the first column because column A. So basically this nets out to 0 plus 1. So it's going to grab that first value, that first row. And now so I'm going to get the first row in that first column, which is going to be description. So right now, not very useful, but I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to spread this out. So I've got my 5 fields here. So I'm going to amount, X date, record date, and payment date. So if I go to evaluate again here for this payment date, you'll see that because we're still on that first row, it's still doing 1 times 5 minus that 5, which is exactly what we want because we want to keep it on that first row. But column E is going to be the 5th column. So now I'm adding 5. So remember, this is calculating the row number. So it's getting the 5th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the payment date. So that is the value that it's going to be pulling. And so that's what the result is of that formula. Now, when I copy this down, this is when you start to see the table fill out here. You can see the values are now updating. And so now let's take a look at that second row actually, and click on the evaluate formula. And in this case, it's looking at now at row A2. So that's a value of 2. So 2 times that multiplied, the number of fields, 2 times 5 is 10. And subtracting still that initial 5. So now we've got 10 minus 5 gives us 5, plus the column is the first column. So 5 plus 1 is going to be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is that value here. And so as I drag this across horizontally to other columns, then it's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So it's basically determining the correct row number that it needs to be pulling in. And that's how it's able to recreate this table properly. And now the only thing I'll do here is I'll adjust these dates so they're actually in date formats. So I'm going to select the short date. And now what I can do is just copy this down, and this will automatically extend down as far as I need it to fill in my data set. So this is an easy way to convert your data from a column format like this into a full-blown table like this, which is probably what you intended to have when you copy your data over to Excel. But because different data sources don't always copy in nicely into Excel, you might end up with a result like this. But as you can see, by just using a combination of the index, row, and column functions, you can convert that into a table that now you can use more readily. And now once you've done that, what you could do is copy and paste it as values, so that way the formulas are gone and you no longer have to rely on them. So if I hit Control C and then Control Shift V, or paste as values, then you can see the formulas are gone. So that's one way to convert it permanently, so we'd no longer have those formulas, just in case we delete something or make changes to it. So that's a quick way to do this in Excel, and the process is identical in Google Sheets, so it works in both softwares the same way. So I hope you liked this video. If you did learn something, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.